Every single day you wake up with a choice. Not a big dramatic choice, not a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. A small choice. A choice so small that most people ignore it. The choice to do one thing better than yesterday. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Your life will not suddenly change in one massive moment. It changes in the quiet decisions you make every single day. One extra hour of learning, one moment of discipline when quitting feels easier, one decision to move forward when fear tells you to stay still. These tiny daily choices seem invisible at first. But over time, they stack, they compound, and one day you wake up in a completely different life, a stronger mindset, a sharper purpose, a life built on consistency instead of excuses. The people who transform their lives are not the most talented. They are not the luckiest. They are simply the ones who understand this one rule: win the day, every day. Because when you change your day, you change your habits. When you change your habits, you change your future. And when you change your future, you change your entire life. The smallest decisions a man makes each day quietly build the direction of his entire life. Most men believe transformation comes from a single heroic moment, but real change is far less dramatic. It hides in ordinary mornings, in the decision to get up earlier, to push a little harder, to stay disciplined when nobody is watching. From a man's perspective, these moments often feel insignificant, almost invisible. Yet these are the exact moments where identity is shaped. A man becomes confident not because of one victory, but because he repeatedly proves to himself that he can choose discipline over comfort. What many men fail to realize is that the world, and especially women, rarely judge a man by his words or his big dreams. They notice patterns. They notice consistency. From a woman's perspective, reliability signals strength far more than occasional bursts of effort. A man who improves himself daily, even in small ways, communicates stability, focus, and purpose. That quiet consistency creates trust, and trust creates respect. The challenge is that the male mind often craves immediate results. Men want the reward now, the recognition now, the transformation now. But the truth is that the strongest men learn to play a longer game, understanding that every disciplined choice compounds into power, capability, and presence over time. Motivation feels powerful in the moment, but it is one of the most unreliable forces in a man's life. A man can wake up one day feeling unstoppable, ready to change everything, and the very next day, that fire disappears. That is the trap many men fall into. They wait for the feeling to return before they act again. But growth does not belong to the man who feels inspired. It belongs to the man who shows up anyway. Consistency turns effort into identity. When a man commits to doing the work daily, even when the excitement is gone, he begins to build a quiet form of strength that does not depend on emotions. What many men overlook is that the people around them, especially women, rarely respond to bursts of motivation. They respond to patterns. From a woman's perspective, a man who is driven only when he feels like it appears unpredictable, but a man who shows discipline every day signals stability and reliability. That steady rhythm of effort communicates something deeper than ambition. It communicates control. The male mind often chases intensity, but real transformation is built on repetition. When a man learns to value consistency over excitement, his actions become predictable in the most powerful way, and that predictability slowly builds respect, confidence, and authority in every area of life. Habits are the silent architects of a man's future. Most men believe their lives are shaped by big decisions, by the rare moments where everything changes at once. But the truth is far quieter than that. A man's life is built by the small routines he repeats without thinking. The way he starts his morning, the way he handles pressure, the way he responds when things become difficult. These actions slowly turn into patterns, and those patterns begin to shape identity. Over time, a man does not simply perform habits. He becomes the result of them. What many men fail to notice is that the world reads those habits more clearly than they do themselves. From a woman's perspective, daily behavior reveals far more than promises or ambitions ever could. The way a man manages his time, the discipline he shows toward his goals, and the standards he holds for himself all signal the kind of life he is capable of creating. Consistent habits communicate stability, focus, and direction in ways words never can. The challenge lies in the fact that habits rarely feel powerful while they are forming. The male mind often seeks visible progress and quick validation, but the strongest changes happen slowly, quietly reshaping confidence, discipline, and personal authority day after day. The difference between a man who dreams and a man who builds is almost never talent. Most men carry powerful visions of the life they want: success, respect, freedom, the ability to provide and lead. But the uncomfortable truth is that dreams are easy to hold and difficult to earn. The real separation happens in the quiet space between intention and action. Discipline is the bridge that most men hesitate to cross. A dreamer waits until the moment feels right, until the energy appears, until circumstances become perfect. A doer understands that progress begins long before comfort ever arrives. What makes this gap more visible is how the world responds to it. From a woman's perspective, ambition without discipline eventually sounds like noise. Words about goals and future plans lose their power when they are not supported by daily action. A man who consistently moves toward his goals communicates something deeper than confidence. He communicates reliability and direction. The challenge within the male mind is that discipline often feels restrictive at first. It demands sacrifice, repetition, and patience. But the men who learn to embrace that structure begin to transform their potential into results, and those results slowly shape how they are seen, respected, and trusted. Momentum begins the moment a man stops waiting for the perfect time to begin. Many men live in a constant state of preparation, telling themselves they will start when they feel more confident, when the circumstances improve, when the fear disappears. But the truth is that waiting quietly becomes a habit. Days turn into months, and months turn into years of potential sitting untouched. Action is the only force that creates movement in a man's life. The moment he decides to move, even imperfectly, something shifts inside his mind. Progress replaces hesitation, and direction replaces doubt. What many men don't realize is that the world notices this shift long before they do. From a woman's perspective, a man who takes action signals leadership and courage, even if his steps are small. It shows he is willing to face uncertainty instead of hiding behind excuses. Women are naturally drawn to a man who moves forward with purpose, not because he has everything figured out, but because he refuses to remain stuck. Action communicates belief in a way words never can. The male mind often struggles with the fear of starting imperfectly. Men want certainty, control, and clear outcomes before they commit. But momentum do. SES not appear before action. It appears because of action. Each small step builds confidence, each effort creates energy, and each day of movement strengthens identity. The man who stops waiting slowly becomes the man who moves with intention, and that movement begins to shape how he sees himself and how others respond to him. Everything begins with a decision to win the day in front of you. Many men spend their time thinking about the future they want to build, the success they hope to reach, or the respect they want to earn. But the future is never built in the future. It is built in the small battles that happen today. The discipline to wake up when the alarm rings. The effort to push forward when the work becomes difficult. The commitment to improve when nobody is watching. When a man focuses on winning the present day, he begins to remove the overwhelming pressure of trying to conquer everything at once. What many men overlook is that consistency in these daily victories creates a powerful signal to the world around them. From a woman's perspective, reliability is one of the clearest indicators of strength. A man who repeatedly shows up, who follows through on what he says, and who maintains focus day after day, communicates stability and leadership. It is not the grand promises that create respect. It is the pattern of daily effort that reveals a man's true character. The male mind often drifts toward big achievements and dramatic outcomes. Men are naturally drawn to the idea of the breakthrough moment, the day when everything changes. But those breakthrough moments are usually built on hundreds of quiet wins that no one ever sees. Each day, a man chooses discipline over comfort, growth over distraction, and responsibility over excuses. He strengthens his identity. The process begins to reshape how a man sees himself. Confidence grows not from motivation, but proof. Every small victory becomes evidence that he can lead his life with purpose. As those victories accumulate, the direction of tomorrow slowly becomes clearer, built on the strength of what was conquered today.